Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another series review for you guys. And this is generically my live action comic book review series and stuff like that. And that is revolving around the newest DCEU type of series slash property, and that is Peacemaker. Oh my goodness. Listen, Peacemaker is freaking hilarious. I enjoyed all three episodes, and dude, this show. I'm telling you, this show. If you have not seen it yet, it is freaking hilarious. You need to watch it. It's probably one of the best products the DCEU has put out as of recent memory. And I know the whole controversy with DC, the DCEU, in terms of what their future plans for where it's going to be going, is again shocking. Maybe I'll make a video about that, regarding my thoughts on the DCEU and stuff like that. But I guess a quick little sneak peek is, quote, I don't really freaking care what's going on as long as the DCEU sets everything up that it needs to be set up. I'm fine with it. Personally, I was never a fan of the Zack Snyder films, other than probably Man of Steel. Man of Steel I thought was okay at best, but Batman v Superman I thought was trash. The Joss Whedon version of Justice League, yeah, it's trash. And then, I watched the Zack Snyder Justice League, and listen, I thought it was okay. For any, if you want to put hate comments in the section, fine, I don't care. But I thought the Zack Snyder Justice League was okay. It wasn't. I didn't think it was like as good as everybody was making it out to be. I'm like, it just felt like a longer movie of what I got from the original Justice League. There was nothing different or nothing any more special than Justice League, the original one, the theatrical release, the Joss Whedon version, compared to the Zack Snyder's. Just they just added other scenes for development of characters and stuff like that. But like I said, I know the DCEU isn't really popular with what they're doing now, and fans are definitely, hating it. But but again, maybe I'll make a video about this and I'll say, listen, maybe DC wants to have a change and they want to do anything, because I think as of late some of their other movies have actually been successes, like Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman. Both Wonder Woman films I think have been good. Yes, I said Wonder Woman 2 is good, I know, and stuff like that. But yes, but anyways, we're not talking about that stuff. I have yet to do a review. I was going to do a review when it came out, but I'll do a review later. But the newest Suicide Squad movie, I never saw the first one, but I heard the first one is trash. But I saw the newest Suicide Squad and I loved it, and stuff like that. So anyways, going on to this Peacemaker series, you're gonna get spoilers, so if you haven't seen Peacemakers episode 1 through 3, well then that's on you. Anyways, this story takes place right after the events of the Suicide Squad movie, or from what I heard, a few months after the events of the Suicide Squad movie. Obviously, if you watch the Suicide Squad movie, obviously Task Force X was brought together and stuff like that to take down Project Starfish, which we ended up seeing that was Starro, at the end of the film and everything. We see everything that happened in the film there, especially revolving around Peacemaker, where John Cena's character, the fact that it looked like he ended up dying in the film, but we already knew from from Suicide Squad that he was going to get a series, and this series takes place after Suicide Squad. So I did like how they started the episode off essentially recapping you with some important events of the Suicide Squad movie. So if you're just watching this series and you don't know and you didn't see the Suicide Squad movie, well, you just got spoiled on like legit not most of the film, but essentially the climax of the film and everything and stuff like that. So yeah, anyways, we know that at the end, near the ending in the climax of Suicide Squad, John Cena's character Peacemaker actually got freaking shot by a blood sport, and he ended up being in the hospital. You see in the Suicide Squad movie, he's actually still alive in the post-credit scene and everything, and he's coming back. So we pick up right after he's able to he's discharged and everything. It's just he can't do too much like kind of athletic stuff, but whatever, he does that stuff because he's got like because the area he got shot at, essentially it affected his like I think his right shoulder or something like that. So you see him like time and time again end up falling on you. This crack that sounds disgusting, and he's like, oh crap, and everything. So yeah, but the thing is, he is able to be discharged. He has this funny conversation with this janitor guy. They ended up talking about Aquaman, especially Aquaman doing it with freaking fishes. And let me tell you, this is a show that you should not let your kids freaking watch. If your kids are like the DCEU stuff, yeah, this is the show. This is a show you don't let them watch. I don't care if it's tied to the DCEU. This is a show that they should not watch because it has a lot of derogatory words in this. They drop F-bombs like crazy, and stuff like that. They actually have a sex scene in this, in the first episode, but they have those types of scenes in this. I definitely can see it. I'm already calling it because they're setting up Peacemaker with Harcourt's character, and I definitely could see at the end of it they're gonna give them a sex scene because why not? Anyways, but there is nudity in here and stuff like that, and like I said, this is something that you should not show your kids who like superhero stuff. Like you show your kids some other DC stuff, and the Marvel MCU stuff. Yeah, this is something you do not show your kids. This is like adult stuff here. So don't be shocked if you hear cuss words from the start, everything. But eventually what happens is he gets discharged. He's thinking he's scot-free and everything, and he's able to get up out of there and everything. And I found it hilarious how he gets back to his little home area, his mobile home, and the taxi driver is like, you're gonna have to give me something. And he actually takes his freaking helmet. I'm like, are you serious, bro? But anyways, what happens is some remnants of the behind the scenes people in Suicide Squad, like what is it, like Amelia Harcourt and John, what is it, forgot the one, John, I forgot, it's Economy or something like that. Jeez Louise, I forgot. He plays somebody. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. It's John I think it's John Economy or something like that. But they reprise their roles from obviously the Suicide Squad movie. And obviously we know at the end of that they were essentially under his whole regime and everything. We also get introduced to Leota Adebayo and Clemson Mern, who we find out later that Adebayo is essentially Amanda Waller's daughter, which we find out she's in this whole thing. And they kind of make a focus on her and everything, trying to get involved in this business. But you have Clemson Mern, who is kind of the leader in this whole operation with Peacemaker and everything. And essentially the whole thing about this series is taking down, well, the butterflies. So we find out at the end of episode 3 are like some sort of alien freaking race. Again, this stuff probably won't mean much because we know, in the Flash movie, we're gonna get freaking flashpoints. So it's like gonna be like as if none of this really truly happened, and stuff like that. So yeah, because it will be a soft reboot of the DCEU, and everything. But you have it to where they have him on this mission and they're like, listen, dude, you're gonna do this mission, otherwise we're gonna just take you back to jail. Otherwise you got the bomb still stuck in your head and we could just blow your head off. And obviously Peacemaker's like, shit, okay, fine, I guess I have no choice but to do it, and stuff like that. So he ends up going to his dad's house to go get his pet eagle named Eagly. And his dad is Augie Smith, played by Robert Patrick. But leading up to his dad freaking getting there, The dad, dude, the old neighbor near his dad's house is freaking hilarious, bro. He was making freaking Batman references and stuff like that, and he's just making fun. He doesn't not only make fun of Peacemaker, but he makes fun of his dad later on when his dad ends up getting arrested, which is funny because he just looks like the total douche character. And I forgot to make a mention, bro. When I watched the first episode and I saw the freaking opening, dude, I was literally like, what the F am I getting myself into? This is priceless. Um, Listen, dude, this is freaking hilarious and everything. And I saw the opening, I'm like, I'm sold. I'm already sold. I'm only watching I'm only watching the opening and I'm sold. So listen, I don't know how they did the opening with just a straight face and they were doing that dancing stuff. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And also too, if you're wondering about John Cena as an actor in this, dude, he kills it. I thought he killed it in freaking Suicide Squad. John Cena, in all honesty, is my favorite like WWE wrestler of all time. And I thought he killed it in Suicide Squad, and he freaking killed it here in the first 3 episodes of Peacemaker, and I'm sold. And I'm like, okay, this guy, yes, he's got it. I'm glad he's in the DCEU. So yeah, it's funny because him and The Rock are both in the DCEU, and they're also in another franchise of Fast and Furious. But the only thing is, The Rock's has no intentions of ever coming back to do Fast and Furious, which kind of sucks because I would love to have seen him and John Cena's character interact. I highly doubt we see Black Adam and Peacemaker ever interact with each other, and stuff like that. But yes. Anyways, what happens is, he goes over to his dad's house. He tells his dad about most of the events of Suicide Squad, especially about Bloodsport and how he was afraid of rats and everything. And then it's funny, and because the dad was stopped laughing after hearing the story, he's like, so that rat guy was the guy that you got killed by, huh? And he was like, yeah. Anyways, he gets a new gear and helmet, and he goes into this one area. And we later find out that his dad's white dragon, which essentially is like, I guess you can say a racist cult leader, because we see it when he goes to the prison. These other people start following him, mostly white people. And we're also led to believe, because we even see earlier, like when Peacemaker's talking to the characters, that he kills people of race and everything, and that scene was funny because he was like, okay, fine, I'll kill white people, I'll kill more white people and everything. But we see White Dragon, he's clearly a racist dude, and everything, which when I watch other people's reels, they were actually pretty shocked. I'm like, oh crap, man. And it definitely seems like they're setting up Peacemaker versus his dad or some way, I don't know, but he's getting this little cult leader-ish thing going on in prison. But we get into like this freaking area, this like weapons area where his dad just has like a long extension room of this weapons area from like this different dimension or something like that. He gives him these different helmets, in which there's these different Peacemaker helmets that has like different functions. He ends up taking the Sonic Boom helmet, which we see at the end of episode 1, where he just completely blows that one girl away into nothingness. But what happens is he shows up at the meeting location. You have a funny dialogue scene where, it's just freaking hilarious, and everything. It ends up later, after that scene, goes on to him trying to get to better know Harcourt, as well as because he's hitting on Harcourt this entire series. And like I said, I've already called it. After this whole thing, after she kind of tells him to F off and be like, it doesn't matter what you do, I'm not gonna fall for you and stuff like that. It ends up with him eventually freaking looking at this one lady who we end up is actually a butterfly lady, and he ends up doing it with her. And like I said, the way they're setting up the Peacemaker Harcourt thing, listen, I wouldn't be shocked if at the end of this entire series, or this season, if they plan on doing another season of Peacemaker, I definitely can see it to where Peacemaker's going to get his wish, and he's going to do the dirty with Harcourt. I can see it now. I definitely can see it now. I'm just saying, he's going to give it to her. Anyways, he ends up freaking doing it with Butterfly Lady, and everything. Now we think this is now when I was first watching, we think this is some regular girl, but she grabs this knife and she actively we get a fight between Butterfly Lady and Peacemaker, and she's actually trying to freaking kill him and everything. He ends up getting out of there, and eventually she almost gets him and everything, but he puts on his helmet and does the sonic boom helmet thing, and that leads into episode 2 to where he tries to run away from the cops and everything, and stuff like that, while Harcourt and Adebayo try to pick him up, because he actually called Harcourt like saying one of the butterflies tried to kill me or something like that. There was this butterfly lady, and everything. He ends up freaking trying to escape from the cops. He ends up doing that, and this is the cops that are kind of, I guess, being an important thing to the series. It's like if you watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, it's like Randall Park's character when he's trying to go after Ant-Man to prove, oh, you better not be trying to escape and everything, and stuff like that. But you get a funny scene where he ends up getting into this one household of this family where he sees this one chick that, you know, they kind of relate to each other because of the music they like, and she's actively like digging into Peacemaker and everything. And it's funny because the husband is like, are you really? I lost it when he's the lady was like, you know, he's like, I can definitely relate to what you said. And the husband is like, are you effing kidding me? Are you flirting with him right now? And they get into a whole freaking argument about this. I literally lose my freaking crap dying because this girl is literally already like meets Peacemaker like 3 minutes in, and she already falls for this guy. Lo and behold, at the end of episode 2, freaking she ends up sleeping with him. I'm like, I called it. I'm like, because I knew it. I'm like, bruh. I'm like, halfway, I'm like, dude, Peacemaker's gonna sleep with this girl. Like, lo and behold, you get the ending scene in freaking that second episode. Oh, yep, of course, he sleeps with her and the vigilante. And he ends up getting out of there and escaping, and everything. They go on to make the mention about the butterflies people, and the butterfly knew. And also, too, the thing is, they're trying to kill the senator guy, who was infected with those butterfly stuff, and everything. And we find out that the butterfly lady back, you know, after they were done doing it, was reading the whole, you know, thing. So obviously Myrn is upset, like, how did you freaking let this escape and everything. So yeah, but going on, what happens is, this is when we get introduced to Vigilante, the Adrian Chase character. Yes, it's Adrian Chase. Now, it's kind of different from how they portrayed him in, like, if you watch Arrow, he isn't like serious. He's kind of like a comedic guy and everything, and he's kind of like a fanboy of Peacemaker and everything. And they have this funny little shootout that kind of resembles the thing that Bloodsport and Peacemaker almost were doing in the freaking Suicide Squad movie. They're showing how many people they killed, and stuff like that. So that was freaking hilarious and everything. But you have it to where, it ends up with them essentially arresting Peacemaker's father to make sure he's Peacemaker's not framed for this, and also they Adebayo essentially, you can say, bribes the two family members that interact with him. And I found it hilarious because they were not only cursing each other out, but it probably ended up in Adebayo saying, well, I guess what, you can sleep with this guy. And that's what you saw at the end of episode 3 and everything. And also, too, every of these episodes have post-credit scenes, and it's kind of just extensions of some scenes throughout the episode. So, like, episode 3 kind of covers the most part, and kind of the most, it's the episode that kind of gets the most focus on the story a bit, and everything. You have Peacemaker and Harcourt connecting a bit more and everything and stuff like that. We find out that, well, essentially these butterflies have been taking over the entire world and everything, and they have to go on the mission to go kill this senator, this U.S. senator and everything. And we see Vigilante show up and everything. That's when his team meets him, and Vigilante is like, oh, listen, I don't care, and everything. I just was trying to help you and guys and stuff like that. You can't trust these guys. What happens is, eventually they have a chance that when they kind of camp over at the senator's house waiting to snipe him. Peacemaker can't do it because he doesn't have his seal of the eagle on it. He kind of gets tensed up and kind of just like is just shocked and everything because he's wants his freaking dove on it and he can't draw it collectively and everything, and he kind of backs off and everything. That turns into craziness. Vigilante ends up shooting most of the family except the father, since the senator. We see Judo Master show up, take them all out, captures Peacemaker and Vigilante. Eventually what happens is we see it to where Mern, Harcourt, and Adebayo go into the house to try to save Peacemaker and Vigilante. We see John take out Judo Master in using the truck by just hitting him with a freaking lead pipe thing on the back of there, which was freaking hilarious, to say the least. But essentially what happens to this whole thing is tries to be some sort of interrogation scene. And it's funny, and the crazy thing is we see how the family, before this all happens, they act all weird, and then they eat this like gooey honey looking thing and their tongue slicking. I'm like, what the hell is that? And everything. But what happens is Mern tries to blow up this whole, operation thing, this like hive network. He manages to do that, and this helps John Cena be able to, or Peacemaker's character, get out and save Adrian Chase. Because Adrian Chase was literally about to lose toes. He was getting tortured here. I found it hilarious because freaking Peacemaker's like, I don't care what you do to him. You can do whatever. I'm not gonna be phased and everything. And Vigilante's taking most of the freaking punishment and everything. It's freaking hilarious and stuff like that. But what happens is they manage to freaking kill, obviously, the senator. But you see this butterfly come out of this guy's head, and it was all disgusting. And it's, again, like I said, this show is very mature. This show has a lot of freaking gore. I don't like to do gory stuff, but if it's a superhero show, I'll watch the gory stuff. I don't care. But it was nasty. You have this butterfly come out of the freaking meat sack of the hair, the brain area, the head and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh. And that's where the third episode ends off. And essentially that's when we find out that, this butterfly thing isn't just relegated to where they're at, in the county they're at. It's relegated to dang near around the world, and there's thousands of them. So I don't know how the hell this is. Clearly this has some sort of alien threat taking over the planet. Again, I don't know how you ask me how a human and his friends, a regular guy and his buddies, are going to take out essentially an entire thing. But I'm guessing the whole thing is whoever the whole main boss of this series is, they're gonna have to kill them, and maybe we'll kill all the other butterflies and stuff like that. We'll see where it goes. But I definitely enjoyed Peacemaker. I got a kick and a blast after watching Peacemaker. I had fun. This was hilarious. This is one of the best things the DCEU has produced and done, and that's all thanks to James Gunn. He killed it in Suicide Squad, and this is hilarious. And I just can't wait to see more. So going forward, every Thursday, there will be episode reviews for Peacemaker and stuff like that, and I just got a blast. But other than that, guys, what are your thoughts about Peacemaker? Put that in the comment section. Hit that like button if you like this video, as well as hit that subscribe button if you want to get any more DCEU content. Also put in the comment section, do you want me to do a video based on the potential future of the DCEU, and to give me my thoughts and stuff like that, as well as other things. So yeah, I'll also see if I can do a Superman and Lois episode review sometime this weekend. As for, like, say, The Flash and Batwoman, I'm probably just going to wait till the season's over and then give my thoughts on the season as a whole. I like Batwoman. Flash is all right with me right now, but yeah. But other than that, like I said, hit that subscribe button. You want to get not only anime content, but more our other DCEU content, as well as MCU content. I have to make up my mind when to watch Eternals, so then I can get ready to do a review of that, because I never did Eternals, review of Eternals. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or night whenever you're checking out this video. Until then, guys, I'll catch you guys next video. Peace.